Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Naked with Dr. Money. I am coming to you live from France in the airport, waiting to jump on a train. And today I am going to have an exciting conversation with Brian Bristol. We are going to talk about how we join together. More importantly, as you know, I always talk about mindset. I talk about mindset. I ask my guests when they first realized that they had a mindset. If it is, they believe that their mindset is the result of nature or nurture, how that mindset has motivate or influenced their motivations, and more importantly, their manifestations. And so, because of the time zones, I was in London when I calculated the time for this. Those of you probably know I'm an hour early, but thankfully, Brian was willing to join early. So, I'm going to bring him into this conversation. We're going to share a lot of great things. Hi, Brian.
How are you doing, Dr. Steph?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
Thank you for being flexible since somebody over here can't get the time zone right.
That's all right. You're traveling a lot, so yeah, I understand the confusion.
All for a great cause. So, as I was saying, what we talk about on Naked with Dr. Money is about mindset. And it's an easy toss. It's a conversation of one, when you first realized that you had a particular mindset, if your mindset is the result of nature or nurture or a little bit of both, and then how your mindset has influenced your motivations and finally your manifestations. So before we jump into all of that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? So who is Brian and what is Brian up to in the world today?
All right. Well, I am a nurse practitioner, and I own an urgent care clinic in Van Nuys, I guess a suburb or a city in Los Angeles. Um, I've had my urgent care for 6 years now, and embarking on a new venture with a new venture where it's focusing on wellness and aesthetic health. Basically getting people well from the inside to avoid all the medicines that I prescribe in the urgent care. Um, so, I mean, I'm a husband, father of two boys, and yeah, that's me. And one dog.
One dog.
Mm.
You've got to reflect all the family, so definitely.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, what when did you first realize that you had a particular mindset? How early along the journey do you think you first noticed that you had a mindset?
Huh. Um, I mean, it's hard to say when you say mindset. What exactly are you referring to? Like,
So I noticed early on that I had my own sort of opinions and approach to things
mhm,
early on. And I would say that mine was a bit of some of it was my nature, and some of it was how I was nurtured. Uh, I was labeled precocious, and as I look back, that was an accurate title. I came into the world ready to do what it was. I guess my assignment, I accepted my assignment very early on in life, but I really arrived. I remember at 3 negotiating with my grandmother for an outcome. My mother and I had moved out and things weren't going well. And I decided that we needed to move back with my grandmother, and my mother was afraid. So I said I would take care of it. So I negotiated with my grandmother for me to for us to move back. to her house, which we did. So, you know, and then after I had successfully negotiated a move back to her house, we were going to visit a preschool, and I was with my grandmother, and I negotiated my way into preschool only to quit a week later. And lucky for me, she was so mad because she was like, she was trying to tell the people that I was not the one she was coming to enroll in the preschool, but I insisted, so they enrolled me. But then a week later, I'd had enough of it. And so she was like, no, you've talked your way in, so you're going to go. But the people just realized I was 3, so I couldn't go. So luckily, the day that I decided to quit, they were coming to go kick me out because basically I couldn't go. So my grandmother was just like, she was so out there with me. She was like, okay, so you're not going back to a preschool. You're not going to school till you 5 because you're just doing the most. So early on, that was my nature of I was taking charge of things and telling the adults what it was I was going to do. Later, they kind of socialized me to kind of try to calm me down because I was, out here doing the most.
Got it.
So
Okay. I mean, I would say then for me, I mean, I'm pretty laid back and pretty chill. I think I've always been that way. Um, but I was talking with my uncle because I'm from Trinidad, and we didn't have a lot of things, but as he pointed out, we never we never thought of ourselves as poor. We never saw like ourselves as being poor. We thought we had everything we wanted. We were happy. Um, and now, you know, we're all that whole generation, we are all business owners or professionals. Um, and we think about, like where we came from and where we are now. And I think I've been exposed to that because my grandfather was a shop owner. He owned 2 businesses in Trinidad. My father was also a business owner. He was a tailor, a men's tailor, and so he had his own business. And so the idea of, I guess, being working for myself was always, I guess, that's part of how I grew up. Now, so I guess that could be the nurture portion of it. But for me, my nature is simply to, um, you know, just I'm easygoing. I like people. I trust people. I want to work with people to get the best outcome for the situation and everyone involved. And that's just my mindset is, you know, let's all rise together. Like you say in Trinidad, together we aspire, together we achieve.
So that's very interesting. So when did you know that you wanted to become a nurse practitioner, or is this the career that you intended
Mm.
as a young person, or was there a different career that you were
Yeah.
interested in the beginning? That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about in terms
Okay.
of where it is. What's your journey? How did you get to here? There had to be something that got you from Trinidad to
Yeah.
California, Southern California. Come on, man. You
All
didn't
right.
just
Uh,
parachute out of a flight and ended up, I'm a nurse practitioner and I've got an urgent care facility. And.
you're right. You're right. There was a journey. I grew up in Maryland, and I think when I was a teenager, like 16 or so, I started destroying my mother's stereo component system and putting it together and trying to, like make tapes and make music, off of splicing little pieces of tape together, and then I went to school. I went to school to study nuclear medicine technology, and it was in my, I think, second semester or so. It was exam time, and I'm stressing out, and I go into this hub area, and all these students were all in there dancing, having a good time, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? I'm stressing out. They're having a good time, and I saw this DJ hovering over these turntables, and I looked at him, looked at the crowd, and I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to make people forget their issues, their problems, leave that away for a little bit of time and escape. And so I went home. I told my mom and said, I'm leaving school. I'm going to work at music. And she, she looked at me, tears came to her eyes, and she said, "You're your father's child." And so I sold my car, I got a keyboard, I locked myself in the room, got some books, learned how to, learn music theory, learned how to play the keyboard and operate the keyboard. And I started making music. And I started this little, uh, you know, like little bedroom studio. And the kids in the neighborhood, they were all rapping, would come to my place to record. And so over time, I built that up and started a recording studio in Silver Spring, Maryland, with a couple other guys. And then I started my own little record label to release a song that I wrote and recorded. And I took that to Miami to a conference, and a record label that was, I think he was from California, but he was based in New York. He heard it, he signed it. That record came out, and I think it spent 26 weeks in Billboard's dance charts. Um, and I think it got as high as number three. And then so I was engineering and producing music, from my bedroom in Maryland. And then I, uh, I was doing a couple of remixes. I was at the Winter Music Conference in Miami, and I met the woman who is now my wife of 22 years at that conference. And, and and then I moved to New York because she was living in New York at the time. I moved to New York, and that was in '98. I moved to New York. And then 4 years later, well, we got married in 2001, August 2001. And then I had just started my a new label distributed by Strictly Rhythm, which was a Warner Brothers dance label. Um, and that was in 2001. My first release was, I think, September 9th or something like that. And then September 11th happened. And that changed everything. It really impacted the music business, shut down everything for months in New York. And I began to think, well, I just got married. I have, this responsibility, and I would love to have a family. So, this is tough. So I started to think about that. And my wife also, we decided we didn't want to have children in New York. So we didn't want to raise children in New York City. So she was offered a position at UCLA Live, is what it's called then. It's the performing arts arm of UCLA. And so she took that job. We moved to California in 2002, August 2002. And when I came to California, I saw how inexpensive schools, the universities were compared to on the East Coast. So I decided that I was going to go back to school as a backup to have something in place, because obviously by now I realized there's no guarantees in the music business. Um, and so I chose nursing because I felt like it had uh, good flexibility as far as scheduling, and it appealed to me. So, but I knew from the beginning my path would be not just at an RN, to be an advanced nurse practitioner. So I started back. I waited the 1 year to be a California resident. Started back at Santa Monica College, then Azusa Pacific University. I worked in between there at in the medical ICU at the LA County USC Medical Center, um, and that was quite an experience. And yeah, and then when I got the NP, I worked a few years with Caremore, and then a couple of jobs after that, and then started my own urgent care. So there you have it, all the way from
See,
making
see,
noise to
see. Now, I'm glad I asked the question because that never came up in our conversation. And see, I came from a musical background as well. I
ah,
played piano, I played violin, I was a dancer, I was an actress in the San Francisco Bay Area,
wow,
part of Danny Glover and the Black Repertory Theater groups. I performed with a friend of mine. produced several plays, two friends, Tony Spires and Donald Lacey. I debuted in one of their stage plays based on the Atlantic Child Murders, and then I did a couple musicals with them, and then I ended up in Black radio briefly as a promotions director while building I think my third business at that time. And temporarily, I launched a label for Dwayne from Tony. I
Really?
managed talent that then I signed to that label. And in fact, that was how I ended up coming to Los Angeles. Was I was very deep in the music business, and black comedy was taking off. My friend produced the Bay Area Black Comedy competition, so he launched D.L. Hughley, and a number of the black comedians were taking off around that time. And so there were several of us that came from the Bay Area, and I was in business and expanding my business at that time. I had a marketing communications agency, and then I did a JV that made my agency a full service advertising marketing communications agency. But that was how I got from the Bay Area to Southern California. So see, that
Wow.
musical. And the other part is, you're gonna laugh, is Doc too had background in music in New York. He was training to be a junior agent. He worked under the agent that handled Dionne Warwick and a number of other, artists. So see, we see, so that that
Wow.
is a fun fact. See, that ties us all together. So we all have musical roots. And my son is a producer and artist now. He was a child actor, of course, growing up in the LA area before LA Beverly Hills area before we moved to Orange County. But he continued. He was a SAG actor at 5.
Wow.
So he's done commercials, voiceover, TV, film. He's covered every category. And so as he came of age, we realized that the parts that they were offering weren't the kind of parts that we wanted. So then he went off to New York for a semester, hated it, came back home, worked another national commercial, and then decided that he wanted to get deep into his music. And so he is an artist and producer and all of that stuff. So I can't wait for you guys to have a conversation because, there we go. There we have it. So I knew there was a story, a better story to just, oh, yeah, I have an urgent care. I'm a nurse practitioner. No, this is where we get to the nitty gritty of, that was an example of mindset, right? I transitioned into how I can help. And see, I think that that's important because with a couple of our business ventures, in fact, that's kind of my idea behind our memory care
Hmm.
is incorporating a lot of music and fun. So we're going to have a bunch of fun. We're
Yeah.
going to have a bunch of fun with that. And see, Spirit just connected us, in an amazing way. So, all right. So now it is that you're in the medical space. And when we started talking, you were sharing with me how not only had you looked at traditional medicine, but you started to really get interested in holistic and more energy
Yes.
medicine. We're going to
Yes.
talk about that transition and the awareness that began to surface for you that made you interested in that particular transition.
Sure. Sure. I mean, I encountered people who were, they it was all chronic illness, and the medications were basically, the pattern was you would start them on a medication. Um, the numbers would begin to improve, and then you would over time, suddenly the numbers would go out of range. You up the dosage or you add another medication, and it was just this cycle of just piling on medications. I would see elderly people and they would literally have 14, 15 medications that they take a day. And and so you know I started to see that this wasn't really helping. It wasn't resolving these people's issues. It was, in fact, just keeping them medicated. They were just on these medications for life. Um, and so I began to just look into, you know, what other options are there. And that led me down the path of, like understanding that we are beings of energy. Everything is energy. And so their the effects that we feel when we're out in sunshine, for instance. It's not just that it is a real physiological response that the body has to light and sound and just energy, the energy that's around us. So it began. It's a journey also about something that we didn't get exposed to in school was nutrition, the impact that what we eat and drink have on our body. It's so going down that path is what started me to because I wanted to make a difference, have people actually improve without the medication rather than having to just keep writing prescriptions for medications all the time.
Well, that brings us to our exciting new partnership. So we are creating the 420 Beauty Bar MediSpa, opening soon in what I call Sherman Oaks adjacent. So, he let it out the bag. Okay, it's Van Nuys really, but the marketer over here want
Yeah.
to, add a little bit of that. But tell us about what your excitement about this MediSpa and kind of the treatments and the opportunities that people will have when they come to visit the spa.
Well, I think the idea is it's from the inside and outside. So, we're going to offer treatments and services that, work at the cellular level. So, getting their mitochondrial health up. And the mitochondria is critical because any chronic disease you can trace back to dysfunction of the mitochondria. So we're going to be working from the inside and from the outside. So things like red light, sound frequency therapies to help on a cellular level. We're also going to be offering, in my opinion, the best devices to help with your beauty, but they also work on a cellular level because, for instance, one device that I'm super excited about, the Exion, it does RF microneedling, but it's so well designed that you will not feel the pain that people expect to feel from RF microneedling. It's a very comfortable procedure and it's super effective because everything that we've done so far on this device, you see results the very first treatment. Um,
Wow. Wait, wait,
so
wait, 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 wait. The very first treatment?
the very
That's
first
pretty,
treatment,
that's amazing. I'm thinking of Jetsons now.
well, yeah, it's really, I mean, the technology that we're going to be implementing upstairs, it's second to none. We have the best, red light bed available, the best sound generator that's not a mechanical sound plate. It's using sine waves, the actual sound to generate the movement. Um, the M Sculpt Neo to help build muscle, build your core strength, and reduce fat simultaneously. The Exion will do, steam treatment for essentially the entire body, but it's really powerful stuff that we're going to be offering in the 420 Beauty Bar. It's and Beauty Bar MediSpa. Beauty Bar, I think is bar enough. That's a great term. But we yeah, we're gonna be and even regenerative things like PRP, and one other thing that I'm super excited about is ozone, and that is actually working cellular level, but that improves your overall health and well-being. So lots of exciting things that we're doing.
Okay, so typically, all right, I'm coming into the Medi Spa. I kind of want to look fabulous. Where does one begin with trying to decide what it is that they want to do? I am building muscle, so maybe I'm interested in some of the treatments that would help me build more muscle, especially if it can speed it up, doing crunches and doing squats and doing all
Yeah.
these other things. Is there any way to accelerate that and start to get results sooner? And I notice it's true that they say as we age, it's important to incorporate two things. One, heavier weights, which I was surprised to learn, but also that we have to be really aware of preserving muscle. And so
Yeah.
that's tricky because if you lose weight, it's hard not to lose some of the muscle that you have at the same time. So, how do you kind of counteract that? What do we have as a solution for that type of challenge? Keeping the muscle, but losing the fat.
Well, the M Sculpt Neo is the premier device for building muscle. It allows you to focus the muscle building on the abdominal core area. You can build your biceps, triceps, the glutes, hamstrings, your quadriceps, and calves. Um, basically, and also there are connectors that will help with the obliques. So it's that device, it creates maximal contraction. So the contracting the muscles to a point that you couldn't voluntarily treat. Um, these are the types of contractions that, well, it's it's the most efficient way to contract the muscles and build muscles. And what the benefit of it is that that procedure is not just you do it once and and it's done. Your body continues to respond to that treatment for months after having it done. Um, so that in combination with red light, which red light again increases your metabolism by increasing your mitochondrial function, and it also helps your body release the contents of its fat cells. So it's doing a detoxification and just removing that excess fat from your system, allowing your body to do it naturally without actually killing fat cells. And so if you're coming in and you want to get toned, you want to look great, you want to have the skin tight, all those things, the combination of M Sculpt Neo, M Tone, which tightens the skin, we can do all of that and have you looking great and helping you on the inside to improve your functions to maintain that easier.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. All right, so tell me, some of us, guilty pleasures, we're always looking at celebrities and their amazing bodies. Do you know any celebrities that have used any of these treatments potentially?
Well, I mean, it's no secret the Kardashians have used the M Sculpt. Jennifer Lopez, she looks amazing, and actually, we have the exact same birth date, she and I. But she has M Sculpt Neo, and she attributes, I mean, obviously, she does a lot of hard work. She works hard, touring and doing all that stuff, but the M Sculpt Neo helps sculpt her body.
Aha. Okay. Well, that's interesting to know. So people will have an opportunity to use some of the latest treatments that the celebrities are using and getting outstanding results from. Because I was just noticing, in fact, Courtney Kardashian is being featured. I'm here. Just got to France from London, but there were several billboards featuring Courtney, and I was like, "Wow, she has transformed. She actually is gorgeous. Great figure, everything, skin. And I said, wow, what did they do, to really make that transformation? So now we have a little bit of the insights of what some of the celebrity and J Lo always looks fabulous,
Yes.
And I thought, well, maybe it's the dancing. And I'm like, but could she really be dancing that hard? Because at some point, you get concerned about your joints, right? So it's like, so there has to be some additional tricks of the trade that allows one to maintain, and without overstressing their body. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's you use a good word, maintain. It's one thing where you work to get to a certain point, and then to maintain that it requires a dedication. And with these devices, with the M Sculpt, for instance, M Sculpt Neo, you can you can do your initial 4 treatments, and come back every 3 to 6 months to just maintain, because we take great care of our cars, we take it for its regular maintenance. We've got to get into the mindset of doing regular maintenance on ourselves too.
exactly, because we're saying full life is 120 years and beyond, and I expect to be dancing all the way to it. I'm not planning to give it up any early, I'm planning to have fun every which way. And I want to still dance the night away, breaking it down. I saw this lady, oh my gosh, somebody flashed on social media, this couple, and mama got all the way on the floor. She was breaking it down. I said, "That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Take me out. Because I was doing the splits or something."
Well, yeah, I mean, I can relate. I mean, I my grandmother is 95 or 96, and she doesn't miss a party. She is out
That's
there all
that's
the
what's
time.
up.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what's up. All right. So I've been telling folks that we're going to have a Halloween costume party. So Friday night, October 27th, I believe is the right day for the Friday. We're going to have an open house so that people can come in and, share with us, the community, join us. And then on Saturday, we begin at 10 in the morning and we have promo presentations as well as our official red carpet and ribbon cutting beginning at 4 p.m. on Saturday, going into 9. So if you're in the area, make sure you come out and check out our 420 Beauty Bar MediSpa grand opening weekend, Halloween, and we'll have special appointments that you can schedule at discount packages so you can get in and start the transformation. We'll have tools, our tinctures, and our touch all available to help you begin the process of transforming your life. And as you see, Brian knows what he's talking about over there. So between Brian and the other team on deck, I think we can be looking forward to outstanding transformations. I know I'm going for some, and I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to document my transformational journey.
Yeah. We're looking forward to doing some really strong work that the area hasn't seen before. We're dedicated to getting the results, making people improve people's wellness and quality of life. And yeah, I'm excited for Halloween fireworks.
Exactly. Healing. Yes, exactly. Where you get a chance to have some beauty inside out.
Yes.
Well, fantastic. Well, Brian, thank you so much for taking a moment to both share with me a little bit about your mindset, some of those motivations and manifestations. And, I'm looking forward to a successful partnership with you. I think our team, we're going to have a great time healing people while having a great time. It's like we're doing good while doing good. And I think that having people know that beauty begins inside out. So if we can help you take care of the things that may be causing you to age or causing you to experience chronic conditions, and like you said, it begins with nutrition.
Yeah.
That's the foundation of it all, and a lot of times, even, we're talking about a lot of times people don't realize the importance of nutrition and the importance of gut health. So, detoxing from poor nutritional practices and then right siding your body so that you can have your body on track to receive nutritional supplements or benefits, as well as all of the different uh, treatments and protocols that are available through looking at energy and other holistic healing practices. So, I'm excited. And don't you guys, Brian is pretty cool, calm, and collected, but he's already shared now that he's got a musical side, and he was doing dance music. So you know what? He's putting on a complete show. I'ma catch him. I'ma catch him breaking a sweat. I'ma see him. I'ma see him break it down.
Well, well, yes, you might see me. You might see me get on the dance floor. Who knows?
Exactly. You got to show us some moves. And I'm expecting you got to throw out some of that beating. You know, we got to have at least some of those inspirational flashback memories, right? We got to let them know. You know, I always tell my son, you got to let them know what really happened. You know, when I wanted street cred, I told him, I said, you know, I used to walk the house parties when I was a teenager with Too Short. So don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. I got mine authentically.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be quite a weekend and
All right,
beyond.
but and beyond. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for jumping on. Thanks for jumping on a little bit early,
My
and
pleasure.
I'll be in contact with you real soon
All right, looking
as
forward
we
to it.
get ready for the opening. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch up soon.
All right, thank you. You be safe
All
out
right.
there.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. Well, as you see, I told you we came to you live here. I'm in France at the airport. Need to go get on a train going to somewhere, somewhere next. Thanks for joining in. But we wanted to tell you about our 420 Beauty Bar, MediSpa opening up. I say Sherman Oaks adjacent, but you know, Van Nuys, same difference, right? Anyway, we hope to see you there. Check out the website, the information. I posted our number, the address, and the email for bookings if you're interested in scheduling some treatments. We have exciting treatments coming up, so we hope to see you there and see you soon. Take care.